So we cannot say that now that we can maintain our tempo and enthusiasm and steadiness in Krishna consciousness while being bombarded with the garbage of this material world all over. Chand Chand Bhagwan ki jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Maharaj ki jai. So we have to stop that feed, is it not? We have to stop that feed. No. Now, what to do to stop that feed? Should we go into the Himalaya and stay in some Kandara there? No. The Prabhupada has taught us how to fight with the feed or how to stop the feed. Prabhupada didn't keep all the devotees in the temple hall. That okay, all of you please don't go out of temple hall. Only for 1 number, 2 number you can go. That also you write down. And so the monitor is there, how much time and all that, because you will get bombardment. You just be bombarded with the deities and the Prabhupada didn't keep all the disciples just robed inside the temple hall. That okay, to protect them. There are bombs all around. Actually, there are bombs all around, sensual bombs all around. But Prabhupada didn't keep them there. Prabhupada said, okay, you also take ammunitions, and you go and fight. So what is the safe way to stop the feed of bombardment? The safe way to stop the feed of bombardment is when we go out, we are not if we are in a blank mode, that means we don't really know what we are doing. Blank mode, or if we are in a receptive mode, sometimes a person gets a job, he's very eager. Oh, what are the managers doing? Oh, what is the director doing? Oh, this is so nice. These people have such a position, everybody's hero worshipping and all that. So you are in a full receptor mode, is it not? So at 2x, 4x, 5x speed, the garbage is going to come in, is it not? And sometimes person is in a blank mode. So there is no, then also the garbage is going to come. So you want to counter, one should be in a preaching mode. One should be in a preaching mode. That okay, wherever we go, it's not, no, Prabhuji, like sometimes some devotees made, devotees, they made a principle. Raishambhu was very unhappy with that. So what happened is that Raishambhu would sometimes encourage devotees to say, take up this job. What is that job? Lecturer job. So his feeling was, okay, devotees can become lecturers, they can preach in their own colleges. But then some of the devotees who became lecturers, then they came up with the philosophy that one should not preach in his own college. It is a little, what about your image and this and that? So one should not preach in his own college. Now the problem, what happens is that, okay, then you can say, okay, why we will not preach in our college, go and preach in other college and exchange. But then that becomes a little more difficult. It increases the difficulty. Because your own college, you can catch anybody, you can catch anybody in the room, talk to him, is it not? Calling for program, distributing books, sitting down with anyone becomes easy. But you go other college and you know the dynamics, you know where the candidates are there, you know where they freak out, what happens to them, and you get to observe also. So you little bit understand who are little goodness candies, who are useless candies, whom to talk, not to talk. A lot of things can happen positive. Other college, you don't know the dynamics, you don't know what to do, whom to do and all that, and it is difficult. You have to give a lot of extra time and all that, which devotees find difficulty in young. So then the net result, what happened? No preaching is happening. No preaching is happening. So you see, these kind of philosophy is very dangerous, is it not? So now if you're not doing anything, then what is going to happen? Then are you going to be, so then what is going to happen? Then what happened in Pune? The next transition happened. Then many devotees took up teaching jobs. But then these kind of philosophies, then one is not very active. And when one is not very active, one will be bombarded by sensual waves. So what happened after a few years, everybody changed the philosophy. From teaching, they went to company jobs. Why? Because all around will be the bombardment. Who is happy teaching, with meager salary? Is it not? Everybody wants salary hike, salary hike. You're seeing the student to whom you taught is earning 5 times than you, then why are you going to stay there? Is it not? So everybody left. Yeah. So like a wave, like a herd mentality, everybody joined in, then everybody left like that. Why? Because so why we got affected by it? Because there was no front foot, no preaching. Is it not? So front foot preaching is very important. That we understand that okay, I don't have to take anything from these people, but okay, till the time I am here, let me help them out in Krishna consciousness. That's the point. And that's the attitude we need to have in our company setups. Otherwise, if we look at them with a reverential eye, oh, successful people, and nonsense successful people, is it not? Sensual fellows, not successful fellows, sensual fellows. So this is the point actually. Sometimes this is the point. So we have to understand that my dealings with outside people is only one direction. That is, preaching orientation. That's it. To help them connect to Krishna. Is it not? Not any reverse gear. Okay, let me take some fundas from them. How promotion can take place. And too much you start taking fundas, lot of bombardment will happen. And then Rajasic the determination develops. And once Rajasic determination develops, then one cannot. It becomes very difficult to stop that. You have fed it; it has become like a Rakshas, and the Rakshas is actually, with force he's taking you. Then how are you going to save yourself? Is it not? Then people say, "What can we do, Prabhuji?" Material world. But material world, it's your choice of what you want to feed. Is it not? So therefore, you see, so dharma, artha, kama, moksha actually. So actually वो the whole consciousness धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष तो छोड़िए, वो अर्थ के ऊपर जा ही नहीं पाता है, अर्थ में ही अटक के रह जाता है सबका गाड़ी लाइफ लॉन्ग. सो कामा का भी टाइम नहीं मिलता है, अर्थ में ही अटक के रह जाता है गाड़ी, है ना. कितना पैसा बचाया है, कितना सेविंग किया है, कैसे क्या सिक्योरिटी, क्या LIC लिया, क्या फंड किया, शेयर मार्केट किया, ये वो ना, इतना और बचाना है पैसा, इतना लैंड खरीदना है, इतना ये करना है, वो करना है, अर्थ में ही अनर्थ हो जाता है व्यक्ति का. उसके आगे गाड़ी जा ही नहीं पाती है, कलयुग है ना, ज्यादा एनर्जी है नहीं ना. Previous ages they used to be able to reach to the point of liberation and get frustrated and then come back and take to devotional service, है ना. अभी तो अर्थ में ही गाड़ी जाम हो जाती है. मेरा पैसा ही नहीं आ रहा प्रभु, बाद में भक्ति की बातें करें. तो so you see that is what is being spoken in Bhagavatam. वो धर्म काम मोक्ष, काम मोक्ष तक पहुंचती नहीं गाड़ी ज्यादा. थोड़ा बहुत काम को टच कर दिए, मोक्ष तो अनहर्ड ऑफ है. उसे से फ्रस्ट्रेट करके वापस आना होता है. That is the succession, that is the this thing. But it doesn't work out actually. Therefore, we have to be intelligent enough. Let me not feed myself with these sensual bombardments like that. And the third is tamasic determination. Well, this tamasic is very interesting. Tamasic determination. So, practically speaking, all these internet and mobile avenues actually are food for tamasic determination. Actually, all these they are practically food for this tamasic determination. Why? Because the entire concept of this visuals is a tamasic concept. Because a third grade concept. The sense gratification also. If you have to do sense gratification, you have to put efforts into it. Is it not? Like that, you cannot do sense gratification. But visual sense gratification, what you don't have to work hard. Even if one has to do romance, say for example, perverted example we are taking. If one has to do romance, first you have to you have to win the favor of that girl. To do that, you have to spend a lot of money, time, so that she becomes happy and all that. So till the time she gives green signal, like that. So one has to do a lot of hard work. It won't happen, so easily, like that. But the same kind of nonsense feeling and the nonsense, impressions one can get just by clicking on to a romantic video. Is it not like that? So, uh, uh, now as a devotees, we may not look at romantic videos, but we may look at sports videos, and but we may look at what is happening in the politics, like that. And so all these avenues one has to strongly cut off, actually, because if that is there, then actually this tamasic determination will develop. And tamasic determination is all about daydreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, illusion. Simply imagination, is it not? Simply imagination. So so that this means that whenever we are not balanced and holistic, and very likely in our practice of Krishna consciousness, if we are not balanced and holistic, very likely the tamasic determination will develop. Because when we go to extremes, tamasic determination develops. See, this goes to show that all these deviant patterns, whether it is senior devotee syndrome or pure devotee syndrome, they are all products of tamasic determination. Because it is this tamasic determination which goes illusory. So the moment we go illusory, the moment one so it talks about dreaming, illusory. So on the material plane is fine, but on this side also, one is simply dreaming, imagining himself to be very senior or steadfast, or but actually on the real ground he's not doing anything to sustain it. Is it not? He's not doing anything to sustain it. So even if there is some bank balance, how much that bank balance will last? Is it not? Suppose a devotee has done some very nice service for 3 years, 4 years, so there will be some bank balance, but how much it will last? If you're not putting more money, how much the bank balance will last? So the daydreaming, the dreaming is a very is actually tamasic determination. So whenever we go extreme sided and we are not holistic, then we go tamasic. Because tamasic, and that's how you see. So pride will take one towards tamasic determination, because one is going on trajectories which are extreme, like that. So that is why it is explained that one should always be one should always keep himself level-headed. No, one should be holistic in one's endeavors. Sadhana is very important for a young devotee who has come to Krishna consciousness. It is very important for one who has passed 40 years in Krishna consciousness also. Similarly, alertness is very important in say in every age. One cannot go casual in any age. This is not. So we may not say, okay, now we are now we are not teenage. Now we are adult. The Maya will not affect us so much. It's a nonsense. And even at 70, Maya can affect. Is it not? Age 70, person is in the deathbed. And also Maya can affect, actually. Maya very strong. You see, Ajamil 88, he was not out. 88 not out in sense gratification. So you see the point. The point is that one has to. So therefore, similarly, active preaching. So in this material world, there is no concept of relaxation. Is it not? There is no concept of relaxation. Rather, by the justification of relaxation, we cheat ourselves, because that whole module of relaxation is actually something which puts us into this tamasic determination, because it fuels the tamasic determination. And tamasic determination person goes into illusion. Oh. You see, sometimes people take pleasure in just being fearful and crying about it. If you have some fear, if you are crying about it, do something about it. But crying only takes away the whole time. You see, this is tamasic determination. On the high search. So people are just fearful. They're crying. This has gone wrong, that has gone wrong, this is not happening, that is not happening. But then you do something about it, is it not? Take some positive measure, is it not? Like sometimes some student they get a very bad grade, and they say, oh, nothing is happening in my life, this bad grade and all that, Let me, give up Krishna consciousness, I'll take it up after some time. I'll say, so that's not a positive solution at all, is it not? One is simply crying about it. Then we have seen what? That the positive solution is, so you have to understand, why the mind could not focus on study, is it not? Because probably one has not fed the right kind of, one has not fed the ingredients which give sattvic intelligence. And therefore one simply, was slouching around on a lazy platform. Now if we say, let me give up Krishna consciousness, I'll go to the hostel. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So here it was vacuum and daydreaming. There it is going, that same place and proclivity will be taken up by sensual things. Is it not? So we have seen sometimes devotees go out, then they perform even more worse. Why? Because there there is full food for the tamasic intelligence, and one will go sensual, and the grades are completely lost. Is it not? So that's the point actually. Therefore, one has to be intelligent enough to actually correlate that what type of ingredients are going inside our systems. Is it that we want? If we feed ingredients which fuel tamasic and rajasic intelligence, then we are going to face troubles, and we are going to be weak. It is going to be miserable, and it is going to be great agony. And then one should not blame Krishna for it. One should not blame devotees for it. Oh, devotees have created this problem for me. Okay, devotees, some situation of misunderstanding might have happened, but the problem is not created by devotee. The problem is created by one's disorientation, is it not? So we give the wrong food, we cannot blame the process, is it not? Or we cannot blame the devotees. So therefore a sadhaka has to be very attentive what kind of foods we are giving to ourselves. We give wrong kind of foods. We have wrong kind of excitements. Then like sometimes we see their camp is there, the devotee is very morose. So camp hai, सेवा करना पड़ेगा. Hello, 12 बजे सोने को मिलेगा, 4 बजे फिर उठा देंगे ना. Camp is finished, very happy. Like that. अब camp, why is very happy? चलो 3 दिन तक सोएंगे. We can justify also, इतना तो सेवा किया ना प्रभु जी, like that. So that means, so you see the disorientation, the person is giving the wrong foods. Which determination will develop? Tamasic determination will develop 100%. So it is going to be very difficult for him to battle, is it not? With all the anarthas, provocation, because he is developing tamasic intelligence, determination. So we have to see what kind of a devotee has to take inventory of what are we getting excited about actually. And so that's the point. Unless we give so this is the point. Unless we give the right food, we are not going to develop that kind of determination. So determination is in our hands. Even though we are weak, we are infinitesimal, we are powerless, helpless, but we have the choice to choose what kind of food I want. Is it not? ठंडे पानी से नहाना है, गर्म पानी से नहाना है, हमारे हाथ में. Is it not? नहाना है कि नहीं वो भी हमारे हाथ में. Is it not? कोई कितना भी बड़ा वीक हो, स्ट्रांग हो, it's our choice. Is it not? अब गर्मी में गर्म पानी से नहाएंगे टॉर्चर तो होगा. Is it not? Is it not? If it is, But it's 45 degrees and now we are bathing in 60-degree water, will be torture. It will burn the skin, is it not? Non में सर इतना misery क्यों हो रहा है? So passion is like that boiling water, rajasic determination, So the material affairs already heat and provocations are there, and then you put rajasic determination, that's like hot water, and then scorching heat you're putting hot water, So extreme misery. That's rajasic intelligence, नहीं नहाना तामसिक इंटेलिजेंस की तरह है, like that. And person से smell आ रहा है, सफाई नहीं किया लगता है कर्मचारी ने, सफाई कर्मचारी ने, अरे वो आपके अंदर से आ रहा है ना, नहा के आओ पहले, is it that? Like that. So that's the point. So we have to so one should focus on food, है ना, not cry on effects. ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो नहीं हो रहा है भक्ति में, है ना, आप ये बताइए कि आप खा क्या रहे हैं पहले. That you tune an engineer and the right determination can develop. Yes. Oversleeping. 8 hours exceeding is oversleep. Sometimes, just dreaming and sleeping, like that. So just dreaming and sleeping. That means inaction is inaction and what do you call it as procrastination. Sometimes you're just dreaming, कितना अच्छा होगा कि हमारे वॉइस में यदि 50 डिवोटीज होंगे, हाँ कितना अच्छा होगा, मंगल आरती में 50 लोग डांस करेंगे, है कि नहीं, and the devotees telling, नहीं हाँ प्रभु जी बहुत अच्छा होगा, अभी क्या है, एक वीक में 3 कुकिंग करना पड़ता है ना, तब क्या है ना 1/3 हो जाएगा, है ना, एक वीक में एक ही कुकिंग करना होगा या 2 वीक में कुकिंग करना होगा. So nice, है ना. So you are getting, what is happening, है ना, you're simply so what is the use of simply dreaming, okay कितना association होगा, इतना बड़ा voice होगा हमारा, है ना, is it not, ना, and you better go out and distribute some books, is it not, because if you go out and distribute books, at least you will remain a devotee, at least we will remain devotees, like that. That's the point, so this is daydreaming, and this is daydreaming. So this kind of this is daydream. Like sometimes devotees may say, चलो प्रभु जी हम लोग सताम प्रसंगात करते हैं, सताम प्रसंगात, है ना, सताम प्रसंगात, है ना. So बहुत सारे वर्सेस आप काउंट कर सकते हैं उससे रिलेटेड, है ना, सताम प्रसंगात. Then devotee sit down. He said, okay, चालू हो गया गाड़ी, ओ चले जा रहा है ना, लंच पे चालू हुआ था, डिनर भी खत्म हो गया, है ना, चूहा भी आके खा गया, है ना, वो चले जा रहा है रात 10 बजे तक, है ना, like that. And we say, हाँ ना, okay, we took devotee association, है ना. So we have to understand, and everybody just everybody just yeah, so sometimes different kind of weird fashions come. I've seen sometimes in voices devotees just sitting with a plate, वो उसी प्लेट में ब्रेकफास्ट लिया, उसी प्लेट में लंच भी ले लिया, है ना, so चले जा रहा है, पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है, ना, like that, and घुटू मुटू चले जा रहा है, ना, like that, है ना. So what should we conclude? Devotees are very spiritual, they are doing Krishna Katha like Suta Goswami and the, है ना, अरे they were doing Krishna Katha because Parikshit Maharaj का end time आ गया था, ना, is it not, ना, yeah, I mean that was the point, is it not. So because Parikshit Maharaj had got a notification that he is going to die and his end time had come, therefore everybody was just speaking Krishna Katha day and night. वो camp चल रहा था, है ना. Otherwise Parikshit Maharaj or all the sages, everybody would have done preaching programs, not Gutu Mutu, and so you see the point. And because that was a very crucial moment, they were doing Krishna Katha, they could do Krishna Katha throughout, 7 days. Like, Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was in his last days and last weeks and months. Randan Maharaj cancelled all preaching programs, and he was just with Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, like that. So that was a very, intense and crucial emergency phase, and that is why he had cancelled his preaching programs. But without any reason, we cancel our preaching program, sit down, we won't be able to do Krishna Katha. That is very sure. So we may start with the spiritual topic. वैसे जाएगा गाड़ी फिर 5 मिनट का यू टर्न मारेगा ना, and then some here and there no wishy-washy diluted talks will happen 100% like that. So therefore the point is that for us to be able to sustain Krishna Katha, we need realizations, and the realizations will come when we actually are actually becoming instruments in the Sankirtan. Then realization will come. Then we will be able to actually sustain and share and hold Krishna Katha. Otherwise, Krishna Katha will slip off. Some mundane talks will start happening. Is it not? Like very, very simple. One who is not doing very good sadhana, how he can speak about Krishna? Is it not? How he can speak about Krishna? He will say, okay, are you chanting? You should chant very nicely. Chanting is very important. बस उतना ही उनको बोला जाएगा ना. After that, he will speak about here and there thing. The boy will say, आपको पता है क्या है ना बीजेपी में क्या हो रहा है, इसमें क्या हो रहा है, उसमें क्या हो रहा है. Then some other discussion will start. Is it not? Why? Because he will not be able to sustain Krishna Katha. So therefore, actually, what is the safe principle? The safe principle is to be engaged in service, in preaching. Is it not? In Sankirtan. So failure to do that, tamasic intelligence will develop. Extreme sides, is it not? 6 hours equal association is not 6 hours a day equal association is not recommended. Okay, 2 hours in a month is fine. 1-2 hours in a month is fine. So, like we heard from Raisham Prabhu that he used to see the Devamrit Maharaj, Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, Devamrit Prabhu, Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj and Radha Gopinath Prabhu. So they would be going for preaching. Every day they would go out for preaching. So they would come back at 11 o'clock. And 11 o'clock they would come back. They will all Govind Prabhu is coming, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Shyamanand Prabhu, they are all coming. They come back by their preaching programs 11 o'clock. Then for 10 minutes they will just stand and discuss. 11 to 11, and then they'll go to sleep. So that association is very potent association. Is it not? There is feeling of togetherness. There is feeling of being in the mission. There is feeling of sharing. There is like that, and so that is the way to actually hold Krishna Katha. Otherwise it will slip off. Actually, this is the point we have to remember. Actually, so that's about determination. Let's go forward then. Okay, so the point is the government is that if the goal is not fixed, determination will not come. If the goal is not Krishna, the determination is not going to come because there is lack of faith. So one will be one keeps all subsidiary priorities. So that point is there. That point is there. Now, you see that point is very much valid. But the point to consider is that goal is again not a one-time phenomenon. Goal depends on feed. Goal depends on feed. So we hear from devotees, we want to go back to Godhead. And we hear from an entrepreneur, we also want to go to, we also want to open our company in New York. So what we hear is accordingly the goal develops actually. So accordingly the goal develops. Therefore, we have to see that everywhere there are these three types. Everywhere there are these modes. And although we don't have much strength, but we have the choice which type of channel we want to tune into. We have that choice. So that is why one looks forward. One looks forward to devotees. His goal will remain fixed. And how faith will come? Faith is also cultivation. No, faith is like marks. How do you get marks? If you study, you will get marks. And if you get marks, you will get confidence. That is called as faith. But if you don't study, you fail. Is it not? When you fail, you want to deregister. Is it not? You fail 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you will yourself want to deregister. Is it not? So that's a point actually. That the faith will come by engagement. But how the engagement will come? The engagement will come when we surround ourselves with that. Is it not? So the choosing. That is why without sadhu sangha, the bhajan kriya doesn't start. For bhajan kriya to start, sadhu sangha has to be there. Now this is not just a phase. This is not just a one-time phase. Sadhu sangha bhajan kriya. Now this is the staircase. This is a continuum staircase. That means we will see whenever we see discrepancy in our bhajan kriya. That means you have to go back to sadhu sangha. And whenever we are crying about anartha nivritti, arre ho nahi raha anartha nivritti, ho nahi raha. There is no point crying about anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti will not happen unless sufficient bhajan kriya is done. So there is no point in crying and blaming anartha nivritti is not happening. You have to go down and do bhajan kriya first. To do more bhajan kriya. अभी तक नहीं हुआ और करना है bhajan kriya. अभी तक नहीं हुआ और bhajan kriya. And to do bhajan kriya fuel कहाँ से आएगा? साधु संग. So that's the point actually. So therefore, knowing Krishna or keeping Krishna as a goal, just 1 minute. This one. Okay, what is the question? See, that is why two things are very important. One is, no, it is very important to be in close proximity of no, very senior devotees. That is one, so that we can understand, okay, what is dedication, and we can get those waves, we can get those vibrations, we can get that inspiration. Secondly, in devotee communities, we all have a role. Hello. If we do something very enthusiastically, if we do something very nicely, everyone gets positively affected by it. So if we say, okay, I can do, so if one devotee does book distribution very nicely, everybody is affected by it. Oh, book distribution, so nice, If one devotee does, organize a festival very nicely, everybody gets affected by it, is it not? So you see, we all have a role. So one thing we do nicely, it invests in boosting up everyone, is it not? Like that. So that is why it is said that in a community, all of us have a role to play, and if we play our role enthusiastically, everyone is going to be positively affected. And if everybody starts playing one role very nicely, a positive role very nicely, actually, then what happens is that there is a lot of inspiration which takes place. There is a lot of inspiration there. So like in a community, if everyone is preaching to one group, so we may be preaching to 15 people, 20 people, but 20 into 20 becomes 400 people we will see in the Sunday. It is going to be overwhelming experience for everyone, is it not? You see, 20 people preaching to 20 people, you will see 400 people in programs, so 400 people on the festival days, 400 people on Sunday feast, like that. Oh, everybody can be so excited by it. 400 people. Our individual capacity, 20. So this is the benefit of devotee communities, actually. Therefore, in a devotee community, we should take up some or the other role. One role playing very nicely in Krishna consciousness is easy, is it not? It's okay. Now I'm taking one preaching group. Okay, you take one preaching. Everybody take one. The whole thing affects everyone, is it not? Like book distribution marathon. An individual score may not be very high, is it not? Like marathon, what happens in a marathon? Individual score not very high. Okay, 50 books he may distribute. But one person distributing say 50 books, and that also an enthusiastic person, 50 books in a day is a big thing. I mean, it's a good thing. But then that he sees, okay, 2,000 books were distributed today, So 50, 20, 10, 5, 100, like that the integral becomes 5 because there are 200 devotees in the community. Everybody is playing some or the other role, like that. So then that 2,000 has an impact on everyone. Oh, 2,000 books are distributed today. So one who's distributed 5 books, he gets inspired to distribute 8. One who's distributed 20 gets inspired to distribute 25. So that wave goes on, actually. Therefore, you see, devotee communities are the way to ignite, and remain enthusiastic. And secondly, in devotee communities, actually, so this marathon is a wave, like that. Therefore, devotee managements, what they should do, they should never